Hey, good day to you. Welcome to RFD, Illinois. I'm Rita Frazier.
I'm DeLoss Yankee. Hello there.
Hello. Well, the old river. We're going to talk a little bit more about it. Luckily, we caught up with Sam Zumwalt, who is a Farm Bureau member, and he is in the river bottoms in Hancock County, or near Hancock County, kind of right between Quincy and Keokuk. So north of Quincy, south of Keokuk, they're just in a holding pattern. I mean, literally.
And the thing is, you see these water levels, and how long are they going to stay up? And, that all just assumes, well, what if we had 2 weeks of dry weather? At what time does the river come down? But there's no sign of that. I mean, it's just every 3 days it seems like another nuisance rain to continue to muck the works. Right. Now, as of yesterday, he said he felt pretty good about things. But we'll have a complete interview with him coming up. And those guys, anybody north of, say, St. Louis or anywhere north of where the Missouri's coming in, because you got the Missouri backing things up and you have wet weather here backing things up. And it's the guys we talked to yesterday talking weather, expanded flood chances through May. It doesn't sound very good at all. No, it doesn't. You talked Farmers for Free Trade. We did. Brian Keel at Farmers for Free Trade. In fact, if you go to the website, you'll find several folks in Illinois, IFB board members, Growmark board members, Illinois Beef, all talking about how important trade is to them. And we visited with him about several topics yesterday. They're going to be on tour today in parts of Illinois. Plus markets and weather, lots more to come. Stay with us. This is RFD Illinois.
RFD Radio Network's Rita Frazier connects rural routes for you. Rita delivers passion and reliable information to listeners on the RFD Radio Network. Her radio career spans close to 3 decades. Here's a bit about her rural roots.
I grew up on a small farm. My job today allows me to connect with people from all walks of life and experience opportunity every day. I get to talk about what I love, farming.
Be it routes or roots, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
All Ag.
All Illinois.
All Now.
There are a lot of smartphone apps out there, but do they have what's important to us here in Illinois? The Farm Week Now app does, and it's always at your fingertips. All Ag, all Illinois, and 24/7 where and when you need it for free. Go to your app or Play Store on your smartphone, hit search, type in Farm Week Now, that's one word, and download it today. Brought to you by Illinois Farm Bureau, where we're all about farm, family, and food. Welcome back to RFD Illinois. I'm DeLoss Yankee. Visited yesterday with Brian Keel at Farmers for Free Trade. They'll be making a tour stop in parts of Illinois, a whistle-stop tour promoting free trade and the need to get some of these deals done, one of which is USMCA, the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement, the replacement of the North American Free Trade Agreement. And Keel says the deal won't get done as long as there are still steel and aluminum tariffs issued by the United States.
Mexico put tariffs on inbound pork and inbound apples and corn. Canada put tariffs on processed food coming into Canada. We really need to de-escalate the trade war, and in order to get USMCA, that trade agreement, through Congress, the steel and aluminum tariffs need to come off, because right now it doesn't make sense to pass a free trade agreement with Canada and Mexico, but then still have the steel and aluminum tariffs and the retaliatory tariffs between these three countries. We need to get back to a free trade bloc like we had just a couple years ago.
Website, farmersforfreetrade.com, has videos of Illinois farmers and others. You might recognize some folks giving short videos and testimonies of the importance of free trade. And there's another way, Keel says, you can make your voice heard, especially on the USMCA agreement.
We've made it really easy to send a letter to your member of Congress. If you care about trade issues and specifically want to see the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement get passed, that's the agreement that President Trump negotiated. If you want to see Congress move on that trade agreement, create some stability, all you got to do is take out your phone and text to the number 52886. So that's the phone number you're texting to, 52886. And you text the letters USMCA. So that stands for the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA. So text USMCA to 52886. It'll send you a link You put in your information. It finds out who your member of Congress is based on your address. It has a letter already drafted for you. You can change the letter if you want, and you push send, and the letter will go to your senators and to your local congressman, and we'll urge them to pass the USMCA. So, again, text USMCA to 52886.
Brian Keel, co-executive director of Farmers for Free Trade, of which Illinois Farm Bureau is a part. The Office of the State Climatologist had its final numbers for March, showing a statewide average temperature of 36.6 degrees, 4.7 degrees less than the long-term average. Precipitation was more than average, though, 4.16 inches, 1.2 inches more than the long-term average. And the latest 6 to 10-day weather outlook for the Climate Prediction Center at the National Weather Service shows pretty good chances of precipitation being significantly more than average, taking us into mid-April, with temperatures right around normal. In fact, for the better part of the next week to week and a half, we'll hear more from Rita later in the program about how all this precip, not just here, but in other states, has contributed to some high water problems in parts of Illinois. CME Group, in its latest report, said an average daily volume for March was 19.1 million contracts, down 1.7 million from March of 2018. For the first quarter, average daily volume was its third highest on record at 18.6 million contracts. Last year, they set a record 22.2 million. 10.4 million contracts per day for interest rate volume. That was down 3%. Options volume was down 3%. Foreign exchange down 7%. Energy down 8%. Metals down 13%. And agriculture was down 13% in March of 2018. They did have record corn futures daily volume back on Friday. That was the day of the planting intentions report, and the day we were down 13 to 17 cents. There was also record live cattle futures open interest, 455,000 contracts on March 22. It set a record of lean hog futures and options average daily volume. Livestock futures actually rose for average daily volume 24% in March. Lean hog futures and options average daily volume grew 65% compared to the year before. Equity index was down 21% in volume compared to March of 2018. By the way, the crude oil market keeps moving up. Yesterday settling $62.58 for May. Rita's up next on RFD, Illinois.
RFD Radio Network's Jim Taylor connects rural routes for you. You can trust Jim every morning for your overnight markets. He gets up early to help keep farmers on top of their game. Here's a bit about his rural routes.
I have the opportunity to cover something different every day and provide listeners with up-to-date markets, news they need to do their job and be successful, from legislative issues to crop updates and weather, of course.
Be it routes or routes, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
Attention corn farmers. Your corn checkoff dollars are working with the U.S. Meat Export Federation to grow red meat export volumes. Because when we're exporting beef, we're also exporting corn. The beef industry consumes 28% of all corn fed to livestock, plus additional corn in the form of DDGs, a co-product of ethanol production. Now that's what we call working an angle. Your checkoff is working corn from all angles. Because of the Illinois Corn Marketing Board, your profitability is our bottom line. A message from the Illinois Corn Checkoff.
We're back here on RFD, Illinois. I'm Rita Frazier, keeping a watch on that river, the Mississippi River, today. We'll check in with Sam Zumwalt near Warsaw. We're going to check in with Sam Zumwalt today, a Hancock County farmer. Why don't you paint us the picture, Sam, of where you are today and a little bit about the conditions in your part of the state?
Okay. Of course, just like everybody else in the state, we're kind of wet and ready for dry, warm weather. But our drainage district has been looking at a river of 20 to 22 feet for the last couple of weeks. Right now, we're kind of at status quo because not knowing what exactly is coming down from the north. I understand all the snow is pretty much gone up in except for northern Wisconsin and Minnesota. and that gives us some relief. At the same time, if we have large rains north of us, then we're looking at a possibility of a lot higher river. We can stand roughly a 25-foot river and for a while, but not very long. Right now, the situation is we're kind of status quo. What rain we're getting has been lower than the amount that we've been expecting, and then you get 2 or 3 days of no rain. That gives it time to get out of here, and then we get another shower and just kind of back and forth. So if we can continue that type of situation, we shouldn't see much higher than a 22-foot river, and I'm hoping for that.
Now, as far as your area where we're talking today, you said you're in the river bottom as we speak, which is south of Keokuk and north of Quincy on the Illinois side. So this area, how far is your home farm from this area? And tell us a little bit more about where you farm from here.
Well, I farm in the river bottom there, too, and my son does, too. My son actually lives in the city of Warsaw. After 2 floods, we have had a lot of homes that aren't down here anymore. There's not a whole lot in this 30,000 acres anymore. My home has always been up on the bluff, so I haven't had to worry about that part of the farm being washed away or flooded or whatever. The majority of the farming land is in the river bottom.
So you mentioned 2 floods. Are you referring to 93 and what other year?
2008.
2008 and 1993. We have heard other folks, Sam, and kind of fear that we might be in a 93 type of scenario. Do you feel that way?
A couple of weeks ago or maybe 3, that was a possibility, but the longer we go and what we see and what's happened on the Missouri River at St. Louis is going down. I know they were trying to slow the water down a little bit coming down the Mississippi in case the Missouri River, really got out of hand. But I don't see that happening on the gauges at the moment. It may get high, but not like in 93. Unless we get a lot of rain, I think we're going to be okay.
Tell us about how long you've been with the drainage district and involved on that level.
My family has been involved with the drainage district through my wife's side for, her parents and grandparents. And then after we got married, then I got involved. And it's close to 30, 35 years I've been involved with the river here. And what I see on the river over that many years, I'd like to see some changes on how the Corps does a few things that would eliminate some of the flooding. But we can't seem to get the Corps to take the sand out of the river and beef up our levees and improve them. They just keep piling it back in the river and moving it around. And if we'd have been doing that for the last 40 years, maybe we wouldn't be in the situation we're in now because the river would be able to withstand more water.
Now, this isn't the first time that you've probably spoken your mind on that. Do you feel like other drainage districts, other groups around the state feel the same way?
Oh, yes. I mean, they're always trying to do improvements. And what we run into is regulations. You can't improve your levee because it might shove it somewhere else. But at the same time, Missouri, Iowa, and Illinois have all different regulations. Some states can raise a levee or do more to a levee than the other states can. So it's not a fair system to begin with either.
As you sit there today, as you said, you're sort of just waiting. In this waiting situation, where does this put your thoughts for getting seed in the ground? How do you go forward?
That's kind of an unusual situation, too. We have 2 pump stations in this 30,000 acres, and if the river goes back down, we're able to pump that seep water and or the ditches and what water's in the field back down fairly quickly. And this land seems to dry out. Actually, if the river would go down right now and we'd get a week of pumping, I could farm in the bottom before I could farm in the hills. It's unusual for an area like this. So I'm not looking at anything as of yet unless we get more rain from the north and we get more rain here. Everything tends to be slowing down a little bit. We haven't had those big 3 to 5 inch rains in a large area. And if that continues, I feel pretty good about at least maybe toward the end of April getting some crops in the ground. So
it makes me think, and as farmers, we often ask you guys, how do you sleep at night? And when the rains come through, where you are situated in the river bottoms, do you sleep?
As I get older, I sleep less because I wake up thinking of 1,000 things. A lot of things I can't do anything about. I mean, the weather is what it is, and it is getting harder for me, yes. And I know it is a stress for everyone. It's constantly on your mind, and you just deal with it the best you can. You react to, just like right now, we're all geared up, ready for the river to go up 3 or 4 feet, and then we'll be fighting the levee, shoving it up, and that sort of thing, which you can do. But we've done it before, so it's nothing new. You just do what is necessary to to protect yourself, and, you move on. That's the way it is. You just have to live with it. But, yes, I do wake up at night.
Anything I missed or anything else that you think might be pertinent as here we set the first week of April 2019?
I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good right now with the sun shining, and if you can just keep it from raining, and, of course, I know up north they've had, flooding up there. And one thing we have to remember in our area here, we've never had a flood from snowmelt. It's always been excess rain that has caused our area to be flooded. We're right at the mouth of the Des Moines River that comes down. Thankfully, the reservoirs up in Iowa are holding that water before it gets into the Mississippi River. That's what they were designed to do when they built the system. Those reservoirs were supposed to hold the floodwaters there, and they've so far have done the best job that they can do. Once they get full, they have to let the water out. I understand that, but those are large lakes. They were built for when they built the river system to stop some flooding. And over the years, they've done a pretty good job at it.
Illinois farmer Sam Zumwalt from Hancock County. With that, we'll break for markets and weather.
With the RFD Ag Market Summary for this Wednesday morning, I'm Jim Taylor. Corn steady, beans higher, and wheat ending Tuesday steady. May corn closing at 361.5, down 1/4. July corn down 1/4. 370 3/4. September corn 379 1/4 unchanged. May beans closing at $9 even, up 4.5. July beans up 4 3/4, 913 1/2, and August beans up 4 3/4, 919 1/2. May wheat closing at 464, up 1 1/4. July wheat up 1/2, 468 1/2, and September wheat up 1/4, 476. May bean meal 310.60, up 120. May bean oil 29.86, up 39 cents. And current electronic overnight trading, May corn up 2 1/4, July corn up 2 3/4, September corn at 381 3/4, up 2 1/2. May beans in the overnight up 1 3/4, July beans up 1 3/4, August beans up 2 pennies, 921 1/2. May wheat in the overnight up a nickel, July wheat up 4, and September wheat up 3 1/4, 479 1/4. The outside markets, June Brent crude oil 69.37, up 36 cents a barrel. The June gold contract this morning up 130, 1296.70. In the livestock market from Tuesday, April lean hogs 78.95, up 155. May lean hogs up $3, $84 even. April live cattle up a dime, 126.27. June live cattle 119.65, up 17 cents. April feeder cattle 144.85, down 60 cents. May feeder cattle down 107, 147.80. Cash livestock at the Fairview Sale Barn this week. Steers 133.75. The top. The Illinois direct barrels and gilts trading $1 higher on Tuesday at 46.56. And I'm Jim Taylor for the RFD Radio Network.
Good morning, this is Dan Hicks from Freeze Notice Weather with the early morning ag weather update on the RFD Radio Network for this Wednesday morning. Areas of light rain and snow mix diminished over the western through north central part of the Midwest during the day yesterday. Most areas farther to the east and southeast reported little if any precipitation. Daytime highs across the region yesterday were mostly in the 50s and 60s, with a few 40s in the northern Midwest. Skies are partly cloudy across most of Illinois this morning, with readings in the 30s and low 40s. A large part of the day will be dry here in Illinois today, but a new system developing to the west will bring increasing coverage of rain across the western Midwest today. This rain will move across Illinois later today through Thursday. This system should move eastward away from the region later in the week, with dry weather returning on Friday. Heavy rain is not expected with this system, but some 1/4 to 3/4 inch rainfall amounts will be common across much of the Midwest over the next 48 hours. Daytime highs the next few days will be in the 40s and 50s across the northern part of the region, with 50s and 60s in the south, and the entire area will be warmer Friday into the weekend. Southerly winds should push highs up into the 60s and 70s across the Midwest by this weekend, and a new system moving in from the west will bring increasing chances for some showers and a few thunderstorms to the Midwest this weekend into Monday. Behind that system, a few more dry days are expected across Illinois during the early to mid part of next week, but again, no long dry periods are seen coming up in the near future. It does look like some rain chances will return to the region later next week, with 6 to 10 day rainfall averaging near to above normal in much of the Midwest. Temperatures will stay above normal across the area during about the first half of next week, with some cooler weather making a return to the region later next week. Once again, this is Dan Hicks from Freeze Notice Weather on the RFD Radio Network.
I used to say I was an Illinois Farm Bureau member because it gives us farmers a voice in Washington. Then there was a bad regulation proposed in my community. That's when I learned what my county Farm Bureau does for me right here in my own backyard. From giving scholarships to local kids to tackling township or zoning concerns, Farm Bureau starts right here. And now, that's why I say I'm a member.
Call your county Farm Bureau and rediscover your grassroots power.
Clean water matters to all of us. For years, farmers have been calling for clean water and clear rules because we know it's possible to have both. Now is the time to make your voice heard. Text WATERS to 52886 and support the new clean water rule proposed by the EPA and Army Corps. Don't wait. The 60-day comment period has begun, so text WATERS to 52886. Contact your local county farm bureau for more information on clean water and clear rules.
When it comes to social media, Sabrina Berkowitz connects rural routes for you. Sabrina covers a broad range of ag topics, so Farm Bureau members are the first to know about key issues. Here's a bit about her rural roots.
I grew up with a grain and livestock farm in my extended family, and today I really enjoy helping people learn how to use social media to advocate for agriculture.
Be it routes or roots, RFD Radio, FarmWeekNow.com, and Farm Week keep you connected.
If you're in the mood for some sprucing up, you're in luck. From big to small or farm to front yard, your Illinois Farm Bureau member discount from John Deere is ready and waiting to help. It's easy to think green when it's the Rewards loyalty program with savings on equipment, special parts, and home and workshop products. Whether your tasks involve mowing, planting, or cleaning, you'll be set for whatever your work requires. All you need to do is sign up, have your membership number handy, and go to johndeere.com/Farm Bureau.
Hey, that is all the time we have for this edition of RFD Illinois. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Well, you weren't kidding saying that you guys were on the river. Warsaw is right on
the river.
The river, and probably even more so today than in recent weeks. Population 1,600 in Hancock County. We say hello.
Hello.
Sponsored by Country, your farm is your family's legacy and part of your hometown heritage. While you work sun up to sundown to get the job done, we're here protecting the things you love every step of the way. Country Financial. Learn more at countrycrop.com.
For Jim Taylor, I'm Rita Frazier.
I'm DeLoss Yankee. Have a great day.